Who's actually going to get their money's worth out of a 17-inch walk-behind floor scrubber, and who would be better off sticking with a mop and bucket? If you're trying to decide whether the SUNMAX RT35 is the right tool for your warehouse, gym, or restaurant, you probably have a few questions swirling in your head. Will it handle the traffic I see every day? Will the battery last long enough for a full shift? And does the price make sense for a machine that's marketed as commercial grade? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Those are the exact doubts that keep most buyers up at night, because the wrong floor cleaner can sit in a corner, drain the battery, and end up costing more in downtime than it saves in labor. Let's start with the kind of environment where a walk-behind scrubber actually shines. Imagine a 10,000 square foot gym where the floor gets a mix of sweat, rubber dust from weights, and occasional spills from water bottles. The cleaning crew typically spends an hour mopping each night, and the floor still shows streaks in high-traffic zones. A 17-inch scrubber like the RT35 can cover that same area in roughly half the time because the squeegee width lets you pick up more water per pass, and the built-in buffer helps lift embedded grime that a mop would just spread around. For that scenario, the time saved translates directly into labor cost savings, making the upfront price feel justified. Now picture a small coffee shop with a 200 square foot back-of-house kitchen and a front dining area that sees occasional spills. The staff already uses a small backpack vacuum for dry debris and a mop for wet spots. Adding a walk-behind unit here could feel like overkill. The RT35's battery life, while decent for a machine of its size, typically runs about 4,550 minutes under continuous use. In a kitchen that only needs a quick spot clean after the lunch rush, you'd likely end up charging the battery after every shift, which adds a hidden time cost. In that case, you'd be better off sticking with a high-quality mop bucket and a separate wet vac. So who should buy the SUNMAX RT35? If you run a medium to large commercial space, think gyms, schools, warehouses, or multi-room office complexes where you need to move a lot of water quickly and you have a dedicated cleaning crew, this machine lines up well with the job. The included commercial capacity set means you get the solution kit in one box: solution tank, recovery tank, squeegee, and a battery pack that's designed for a full shift in most settings. The commercial capacity label isn't just marketing fluff. It shows up in the size of the solution tank, about 10L, and the recovery tank, roughly 12L, which means fewer trips to the sink and less downtime swapping containers. For a team that can rotate the scrubber between zones, the RT35 can keep the floor dry and streak-free without a second person constantly emptying a small tray. Who should skip it? Small-scale operations that only need occasional spot cleaning, or businesses that already have a fleet of larger Rideon machines, will find the RT35's price point and performance envelope a mismatch. The unit's 17-inch squeegee is great for covering open floor space, but it can feel a little unwieldy in tight aisles or around tight corners. If your layout is packed with shelving that's less than 2 feet wide, you'll spend more time maneuvering the machine than actually cleaning. Also, because the unit runs on a rechargeable battery, you need a charging station or dedicated outlet nearby. If your facility doesn't have that flexibility, you'll be left with a machine that sits idle while you wait for a charge. Let's talk about the practical strengths that stand out after the box is opened. First, the battery operation eliminates the need for a trailing power cord, which is a safety win in busy corridors. The battery is a lithium-ion pack that can be swapped out, so you could keep a spare charged and avoid any interruption during a long cleaning run. Second, the scrub, buff, and polish functionality is genuinely useful in places where you want a glossy finish like a polished concrete lobby. The RT35 lets you adjust the brush pressure, so you can go gentle on delicate tiles or crank it up for stubborn grease on an industrial floor. Third, the warranty and after-sales support from SUNMAX Store appears solid, with a standard 1-year coverage that includes parts and labor. In the commercial cleaning world, that kind of support can be the difference between a quick fix and a costly replacement. On the flip side, there are some hidden trade-offs you need to be aware of. The machine's weight hovers around 70 pounds, which means a single person can push it, but you'll still need a bit of muscle to get it onto a loading dock or into a backroom storage closet. The squeegee is fixed at 22 inches, so you lose some flexibility when you need to clean narrow strip flooring. You'll end up having to go back with a handheld mop for those edges. Also, the recovery tank, while large enough for